All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be touching on the top outright bets here for the RBC Heritage. Now, the biggest question mark about this week is the same as basically any other week. Should we bet Scottie or the field? Okay, Scottie's going to be checking all the boxes across the board this week, and really it's for you guys to decide whether or not you want to just bet on Scottie or bet on other golfers in the field. Okay, literally, you're either betting Scottie or betting on other golfers in the field. What I'm going to be concentrating on in this video, however, is just talking about other bets not named Scottie Scheffler that I think have a chance to win. Again, that's going to be up for you guys to decide whether or not you want to bet on him. You could bet him to have the first round lead and win if you wanted to do that as well. But I just want to get my quick thoughts on Scottie Scheffler this week. So first and foremost, there is this picture going around of him like going to a dive bar after his win of the Masters. And some people might read into that and say, well, is Scottie truly like prepared for this week, you know, mentally and everything? It's Scottie Scheffler. I think we are safe to assume that he is going to be good to go for this week. Now, I could see why some people might want to maybe not want to bet on him because of that. You know, it could be a little bit distracted coming in off of a Masters victory. But if there's anyone that can bounce back from that, it's going to be Scottie. And if we look across the board, guys, he is #1 in specialist data, course history rank with just a 10th place finish. But first in recent form rank, best staff hit, top pick in the 9-5 mile. Like across the board, he's just the best pick. So again, if you just want to bet on him, you can. I also think you could bet him to have the first round lead and win as well. But let's talk, and you have to worry about if he withdraws with his wife getting pregnant. Now, obviously, no one knows what's going on there, like at all. Okay, we do not know his wife's timeline, Meredith, at all. Okay, I don't need to touch on that too much, but I think it would be shocking for her to go into labor. But again, I don't want to act like I know because I don't. No one knows. Okay, I just want to make that clear. I bet though that they have a timeline in mind of when they kind of want her to go into labor. So I think after this week, we just won't see Scottie Scheffler that much. But again, let's talk about who you would be betting on if you're not betting on Scottie. Well, the next one is going to be the easiest one. It's going to be Xander Schauffele. Obviously, Xander Schauffele just going to be coming in, checking all the boxes as well. Only one bad start this tournament 4 years ago. But on paper, other than that, he is looking like basically Scottie Scheffler, just slightly worse, pretty much. He is coming in, checking all the boxes, just elite form, third best in the field, second best staff hit, second best pick in the 9-5 miles, second best specialist. Like across the board, he is just the best pick. And really, if it weren't for Scottie, I wonder what odds we would have Xander Schauffele at, because right now you can get him at 12-1 on BetMGM. And to me, that is going to be highly intriguing, guys. This is a week in which it's a 70-man field event, so you don't have to go too crazy with the bets. But if you can get Xander Schauffele at 12-1, coming in, checking all the boxes, like as good of a play on paper as he is, like that's pretty good. You'd basically be betting on Scottie or Xander. From there, it does really open up as to who you should be potentially betting on. Now, personally, I don't see Rory winning this week. I actually do like Aubert, who obviously has been trending in the right direction. You can get him at 14-1 odds on BetMGM as well. So far, the first two bets, it's looking like you want to make those bets on BetMGM because that's where we are getting better odds. Now, Aubert has proven that it really doesn't matter whether or not he has course history. I think he definitely proved that last week at the Masters, but he is someone that really just across the board is looking like a spectacular play as well. Second best in recent form rank, obviously coming in off of a great finish last week at the Masters. He's went 14th, 8th, 25th, 19th, 2nd, 9th. And so you could almost argue he's due for a victory. And really this course sets up extremely well for his type of game. If he is on his A game, like we saw last week, it's going to be tough to imagine him not winning or at least finishing top 5. So to me, the first 3 plays are pretty obvious. Obviously, Scottie, Xander, and Aubert. That's pretty straightforward to me. After that, it does start to open up a decent amount in terms of who I think are going to be good outright bets. And so the next one is actually going to be Wyndham Clark, who the data just really likes. Now, he doesn't have the best course history, but at least he has course history here, and he has played okay, you know, prior to last year. You know, he wasn't exactly the Wyndham Clark that we know and love today. And he has been someone that has played pretty well on these elevated field events. So I do think he's someone we can be looking at. He's going to be the second or 6th best staff in the field, guys. 3rd best pick in the 9-5 model, which was a little bit shocking to me. I had to go through and look back at that based off the model average. There's like 5 players that are really close together. So you could argue they're going to be slightly better plays, but Wyndham Clark, you know, coming in off of a somewhat disappointing Masters where he struggled in round 2 and kind of fell apart in the back 9 of round one. He wasn't that far off though last week. I think that's the biggest thing we need to concentrate on. And prior to that, finished 31st and then second. So he has been someone that's been knocking on the door. And this is another course where it just sets up really well for his type of game. Like you talk about effective scoring, which is a 9-to-5 stat that I like to look at. It's basically golfers that are not going to make mistakes. And I'm looking at that this week because this is very much a course that demands discipline for the most part. Now you can go out and score when you're on, which is awesome. I think Clark has the ability to really go low here, but he's also going to be top 10 in ball striking and then par 4 scoring, which is the key stat here with it being a par 71. So yeah, he's someone I think we really should be going out of our way to look at as well. And the nice thing about Wyndham Clark is you can get him at 33-1 on some sites, 30-1 on some sites. So FanDuel, you can get him at 33-1. To me, those are just extremely good odds. DraftKings 31, not as good of odds. And I wouldn't bet him on William Hill or BetMGM, but FanDuel at 33-1, that's too good of a number to pass up on, in my opinion, especially compared to other golfers that are above him. Now, I will say, I do also think that this is a great setup for Cameron Young. Now, he is someone that is a little bit more risk reward based. And so I do slightly worry about him, potentially blowing up a little bit too much here. But at the same time, he is someone where if he is on his game, I feel like this is a perfect storm for him to be in contention on Sunday and actually be in contention on Sunday, not like the Scottie runner-up kind of contention that we saw with the Masters here. Cameron Young has been someone that has been trending in the right direction for quite some time now. He has finished 45th at this tournament last year and then third place finish at this tournament in his first start here, which is obviously phenomenal. Key stat-wise, guys, we're going to see no signs of him not being a good play. Okay. Then you look at his form as well. He's had a 9th and a 2nd place finish recently, and then prior to that, a 4th and an 8th place finish. So multiple top 10 finishes over his past 7 starts, which is obviously spectacular. Again, he is someone that form-wise has been trending in the right direction for victory. You could argue that with Aubert, Young, and really Xander as well. Like those guys are all way overdue for a victory. And that's kind of what I'm chasing this week is golfers that are obviously great plays on paper, but are just long overdue, going to still be motivated to win this week. So that's really going to be it for like my opinions on good outright bets. Now let's go ahead and get more into the data, what the data is telling us is going to happen. And so let's just go ahead and take a peek at which golfers are going to be the best outright bets on paper. This is via the 9-to-5 AI, if you will. And this is going to tell us all the golfers that fit the threshold of being good outright bets this week. And so with it being a no-cut event and with it being a limited field event, we are seeing the most outright bet tags that we have had thus far this season, which to me is fascinating, but at the same time, it does make sense. So are there any names that stick out to you here, guys? Like the data really still likes Corey Connors and Shane Lowry this week. Now, if you guys are familiar with the 9-to-5 model, what it likes to promote is both safety and upside, so it makes sense why those guys would be popping up in the model as well, but at the same time, they do have good track records here, both Corey Connors and Shane Lowry. You can get them at around 37-1 and 45-1. I do think Corey Connors is someone you can bet on there. Really strong course history, staff fit. I mean, he's top 10 or better in all the key metrics that we're looking at. So let's add on in Corey Connors in there. He's like the lowest of the good outright bets. But then you're also going to see some other names popping up in there. If you guys are liking some of these outright bets that are popping up in there, by all means, go for it. But for me, it's going to be a short and simple list. If we're not betting on Scottie Scheffler this week, we're going to be betting on Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, Cameron Young, Aubert, and then we can toss in a kind of value-based bet in Corey Connors. Now, if you guys want a long shot bet, I do think Lucas Glover has a chance to put everything together, to put himself maybe in contention. Also, someone like Taylor Moore, Austin Ackroyd, wouldn't be surprising to see those guys be in contention. At the same time, I just don't see them winning. So now, real quickly, I do want to get into some Corrales outright bets as well. We don't have any DraftKings salary to go off of just yet, but we're going to just use the 9-to-5 models to make the best educated choices that we can possible. And so what we're going to see is that Alex Noren, he's going to be the top play in the 9-to-5 model. By all means, I like that. He's looking like a stellar play on paper. You got Mark Hubbard, who's just been a cut maker, also has course experience here. I do worry that he might not be the best course fit here. Should be someone that does make the cut. He is the second best specialist in the field, however, but only a top 20 staff hit, so slight worry there. But then from there, Ben Martin, who has tremendous course history here, guys. 3 straight top 10 finishes here, and also he is coming in off of a top 10 finish. So he is someone that I do think we can capture the upside with. I do like that as an outright bet. Davis Thompson is someone that more fits the mold of someone that should play well here. He's someone I think we can be looking at. Nate Lashley has played well in his limited starts here, and he does typically play well in these second tier events. Victor Prize is someone that I'm somewhat interested in, but like Chan Kim has been someone that's been playing really well on the PGA Tour. Wouldn't be surprising to see him pop this week, but really to me, Kevin Yu, this is a track track where I do think he could put it all together. He's going to be the fourth best staff in the field. Could be a little bit better recent form wise, but he is someone that can get hot and put himself in contention to win. And so this is something that I already tweeted out as well, guys. These are going to be the golfers that I'm looking at for outright bets for the Corrales Championship. But that's going to be all for today's coverage. If you guys would like some access to the 9 to 5 Sports data, head on over to 9to5sports.com. Available for just $10 a month. Gives you access to all the tools that you saw on this, plus much more. Hopefully you guys have a good week with both tournaments. That's going to be all for today's video. Thanks for watching. And as always, let's keep cashing.